Today, Mark Zuckerberg finally appeared before the European Parliament to testify about Facebook's impact on society, from data privacy to elections. But the format was different from what most American viewers are probably used to. Instead of a back and forth between Zuckerberg and the politicians, all the members of the parliament asked their questions first. Zuckerberg took notes, and at the end of the meeting, he picked out the questions he wanted to respond to. Then he promised he'd get back to the group with the rest. The entire thing was a little frustrating even to the legislators, and eventually dissolved into a mess.
I asked you 6 yes and no questions. I got not a single answer.
So thank you again for inviting me. And for
I think there was one question raised by Guy Verhofstadt, and that's linked to my question.
The problem is the timing. Okay.
I'll make sure we follow up and get you answers to those.
Despite that, the European legislators asked some pretty good questions and weren't afraid to be a little aggressive.
You have to ask yourself how you will be remembered. As one of the 3 big internet giants, together with Steve Jobs, I should say, and Bill Gates, who have enriched our world and our societies. Or on the other hand, in fact, a genius who created a digital monster that is destroying our democracies and our societies for the moment.
And I'm asking you today very, very clearly that would you accept that today Facebook is not a platform for all ideas that is operated impartially?
The most pressing question Zuckerberg faced was whether Facebook was a monopoly. During last month's congressional hearings, Senator Lindsey Graham asked whether Zuckerberg could name a competitor to Facebook. And a couple of European legislators brought that issue up again, but with a more pointed threat attached.
Would you consider your company as a monopoly? I think it is time to discuss breaking Facebook monopoly, because it's already too much power in only one hand. Can you convince me not to do so?
You cannot convince him, because it's nonsense, naturally. You have given the example of Twitter, you have given the example, I think, also of Google, as some of your competitors, but it's like somebody who has a monopoly in making cars is saying, look, I have a monopoly making cars, but there is no problem. You can take a plane. You can take a train.
When it came time to answer, Zuckerberg said that he didn't think that was true at all, and generally dismissed the concern.
We exist in a very competitive space where people use a lot of different tools for communication. Where the average person uses about 8 different tools for communication, ranging from all sorts of private messaging up to more broadcast mediums, to things where they're communicating with groups of people and all of their friends at once. So from where I sit, it feels like there are new competitors coming